Hello, welcome to another episode of Back of the Net. Back after missing last week. I was a bit unwell, so those of you that follow, you probably missed me. I know Nick did anyway, that's why he's on today.
Always.
But here we are. You know, it was a game week 4 we're going into now. So yeah, we'll go over some of the games, some of the transfer stuff at the end. Obviously Scott Parker and, possibly Brendan Rodgers soon, we'll see. But yeah, we'll go into that later. What you say, Nick, you all right?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm a lot happier. I mean, last time we spoke, we were 2 games, 2 L's, and now it's 4 games and a couple of wins added to that as well. So a lot can happen in a week or two, especially in the Premier League. So a lot happier. Still not perfect, but yeah, I'm good, man. It's nice to see United get on back to their winning ways, and let's just see where they go from here. What about you? You must be buzzing. Top of the league, bruv. Top of the league.
Nah. You listen, those of you that know me, I don't get gas like that. But obviously, good to see. But for me, the United game, I've always said it. That's the one that will tell me where we're really at. Because the thing is, if we go beat Villa and we lose at United, cool. You don't want to lose to your rivals, but you're still in a position where you can say, like, we're still top, second, whatever. But you don't want to lose to your rival. But yeah, we don't have a very good record at Old Trafford anyway, so it'll be interesting.
I don't know if it's just me, but does it tend to be a lot of draws at Old Trafford? Or
do you know recently? What? No, I think it's normally games where you lot nick it. Like I think the last one, what was it? We come back to like 2-2 or something like that. And Ronaldo scored again, like the third or something like that. Okay. It's always like a 3-2, 2-1. I think the highest one was let's forget that big one, 8-2.
You've battered us many times as well, innit?
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's all even. But no, it'll be good. So, seeing as we're on United, let's go. What, 1-0 Southampton? What did you think?
Yeah, it was, it was a solid performance from the team. It wasn't anything special. Even though Southampton are not doing great, they're doing okay. But, Southampton are prone to the odd beating from the big team here and there. So to get a clean sheet, win 1-0, very happy, solid. The back 5, like De Gea, Dalot, who was my man of the match. He was absolutely amazing defensively and obviously assisted Bruno's goal. Left back Malacia, he's like a seasoned professional. Like you wouldn't think he's young and that he's just starting off in a new country. You just feel like he's been there for a few years, and so very happy with him. And obviously Malacia, Martinez, and Varane. What a performance! I don't want to get like yourself. I don't like to get too gassed up, but it's looking like it could be a very good partnership. And everyone's talking about how short Martinez is. Like, I mean, yeah, he's going to be challenged aerially from some teams, and he will make mistakes. But 2 man of the matches in a row, officially, even though I had Dalot as mine, officially I think on Sky or BT they had Malacia, Martinez as man of the match for the last 2 games. He's been brilliant. So I've been really happy with the back 5. And when you think about that back 4, instead of Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, and Maguire, because we've got like a whole nother back 4 as well that we're going to play. Like, it's, even though I think Lindelof is decent, he's a good ball playing defender. I think he gets more stick than he should. Like, looking at that back 4 compared to this back 4, it's just so fresh and exciting. And I don't know. It's just like I said, it's early days. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. Like, they could go through bad form over the next few games, which wouldn't be surprising with Man United. But I was really happy with the defensive output. Very happy with all of them, really. I mean, midfield, Bruno didn't play great, but scored a great goal. I mean, that finish was very tricky, wasn't it? Yeah. It was kind of bouncing, and you had to hit it first time and got it into the corner. Very good cross from Dalot. Like to see that and kind of pass it backwards rather than, I think it was 1 or 2 people in front of him who were already marked. So it was very smart from Dalot. Eriksen, I love him. I love Eriksen. I just think he reminds me of Paul Scholes towards the end of his career. So when he kind of retired and came back again, he was predominantly a CDM, in terms of he would sit there. Obviously, he's always been pretty poor tackler, but he'd sit there and he would just spray passes, short and long. And Eriksen's, most of his passes are short to medium range. He doesn't tend to do the long passes like Scholes used to. But the way he just picks the ball up on the half turn, he's kind of already looking around, knowing where players are. Just little smart things like that Odegaard does, and other players as well. Like, it's just, he's genuinely a joy to watch. I love watching him, and I just love his mentality and his attitude. And he's just a bit of a shy guy, isn't he? And to get him on a free. I mean, when I heard that he was on a free and Man United were interested, I was like, oh, please! I was like begging for us to get him.
Yeah.
He was brilliant. McTominay had a good game, solid. He was brilliant against, because obviously we haven't had an episode since Liverpool game as well, so that was a great win. And McTominay was brilliant against Liverpool. And you've heard me before, I've
knocking him,
cussed him a bit. But, he's been up and down a lot. But last couple of games he's done decent. And up top, thought we were poor, to be honest. Didn't think we played great up top. Sancho tried. First half did okay. Rashford tried again, but didn't do that well. And who else was it? Alanga. I don't really rate him too much, but I like him. He's a hard worker, and I think he's a good bench player to have.
Yeah, to bring like when defenses are tired, like you bring him on and to kind of like get in behind and stuff like that.
And I feel like there's potential there to be good. I don't think he's going to be anything better than good, but I'd be happy with just that, like a 6.5, 7 out of 10 player, especially on the bench. Like McTominay should be there, like Fred should be there. Good squad players that should come off the bench. But
that's it. Yeah.
Attacking wise, we were poor even. And De Gea made that really good save in the second half. I can't remember by who, but the reflex save he kind of just went up. And everything's just looking a lot brighter. Liverpool win, I was not expecting. I think we all predicted convincing Liverpool wins, didn't we?
Yeah.
Which is kind of normal, but we did really, really, really well in that game, and we needed it. And now we've got Anthony through the door, that left-footed right winger that we kind of lack. Kind of adds a bit of balance to our team, something we've needed. Even though Sancho does play off the right and left, like he uses, obviously he's right-footed, isn't he? So to have kind of like Sancho on the left in the future, Anthony on the right, and Rashford at top, or Ronaldo if he stays, which I doubt. You know what I mean? It just adds more balance to the team. But, I'm very happy. We're in the league. We're 8th, dizzy heights of 8th. After being, last episode we had together, we were 20th. So we've got 12 positions.
That's true.
Who have we got next? Oh, yeah, obviously we've got Arsenal next as well. Have we got Arsenal next?
No, I think you've got someone else first. There's midweek games.
Remember.
Not too sure.
Have a look. No, I'll have a look. We've got, Leicester away.
Leicester away. That's a game where I feel like you guys have to win. The way Leicester are playing, you have to. And that's the thing. Look, as you said, you guys could beat Leicester, beat Arsenal on Saturday, and you're suddenly looking going, oh, okay, we don't look so bad, because even the transfer business you've done, a lot of people look at it and say, Anthony, this and that. Don't get me wrong, the price tag is high. But I think it's just nice as a fan in general to see a manager come in, sign players for positions that have needed change or where they've needed change. So, like you said, Malacia has come in, made a big difference. I saw Malacia, the first time I saw him, I realised how good he was in the Europa Conference final. I think it was against Roma. And I watched him. I think he was up against someone for Roma who was quick, and I was like, wow, this left back is good. And like them left backs that they're comfortable there, like they've got the pace, the strength, they can pass balls back. Like Malacia looks very, very complete, and he looks like he's been here for a while. So I think he's a great son. He's been fantastic so far, and I feel like that back four going forward, you have to stick with it. I don't want to see like sometimes some managers go, I'm going to tweak it and bring in this one. No. Just go with it. Go to it until someone gets injured. Watch it. Yeah, that's what. Look at Arsenal. We put Ben White right back. It suddenly worked. You're like, oh, wait a second. We can't change Gabriel and Saliba at the moment. Obviously, if it starts to go wrong a bit, then you can kind of tweak it here and there. But for now, just leave it. You know what I mean?
Defensively, I think it's so important for any team to have kind of that stability of the same kind of players. You may want to change one or two here and there, like for lesser games or like cup games and stuff, but it's just like that's the bedrock, isn't it, of a team, isn't it? If you've got a solid back five, your goalkeeper's good, you've got a good back four, or if you play five in the back, you just need it to be solid. So it just breeds confidence amongst your goalkeeper, amongst the whole team and the fans in the stadium as well. And we've not had that for a long time. And even though, look, I'm not saying Maguire is the worst defender. He's not. He up until the Euros when we lost to Italy in the final, he was really good for United. I think he finished second that year. Did really well for England. He's a good defender. I just feel like it would have done him a favour at the start of the season, as I said to you boys before, if Ten Hag just took the captaincy off him. Even though it might be somewhat embarrassing. Yeah, you're captain of Man United and now you're not. But then, you know what? You can just focus on you And I think, and maybe he would have been in the team if he didn't have that stress. But I think he's a good guy. But I worry for him because, you know, the World Cup's coming in what, 10 to 15 games time in the Premier League or however long it is. Like, he'll probably still get picked, but if we carry on as we are, which we should do, like you said, sticking with the same back four, does Maguire get in apart from the lesser games? And is it going to be enough for him to feature in the starting lineup for the World Cup? I think he'll be fine, but I think maybe he's panicking and thinking, oh, maybe I should get a cheeky loan deal because the World Cup's just around the corner, isn't it? So we'll see. But yeah, the back four has been such a big improvement. And just going on about Anthony, it's funny how, you know, when you said it was paid over the odds, and it was, obviously, but isn't it funny? I find this with Man United and other big clubs as well. I'm sure Arsenal get it as well, but I don't follow your transfers as much as ours. But I find that they quote euros, they quote the amount in euros rather than pounds. And obviously, we bought from a European team. But when it's Man United, when you look at other transfers, it's like, oh, Liverpool signed Nunes for not 110 million euros or whatever the equivalent is. I don't know. But it's like, you know, Man United have signed him for 100 million, and it's just like nothing else is put on people saying 100 million, 100 million. And yeah, okay, it was. I think it's 80 million plus 5 million in add-ons in actual pound sterling. It's still a lot of money, but it's just the saying that United fans have is hated, adored, never ignored. It's just like United and it's the same with Arsenal, Liverpool, City, like Barcelona, Real Madrid, big clubs. You know, they sell articles and people click on them. And United have got one of the biggest, if not biggest, fan base in the world. So they're going to do that stuff. But I just find it hilarious.
No, it's true. It's true. I'm with you now. But I just, I'm not against. Like, you look at the market's crazy now. Anyway, like we look at. I think the only thing I would say about Anthony is that in that Dutch league, he was it 8 assists. Or was it 8 goals?
But I think overall his record's decent. I think he's got like 20 goals and similar amount of assists. In I think 90 games he's got like 40-ish goal contributions in total.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you mean. But
he could do it, innit? He could.
Yeah, I don't know too much about him, to be honest. I knew about him, but I'm not going to say that I've no. I've got a couple of YouTube videos on him, as you do when it's a new signing and you don't know who they are. But he looks, from what he just brings that balance to our team. Let's hope he brings that consistency as well.
Yeah, and I think, obviously, just touching before you come off them, I just feel like you need a player with flair now in this league. I think Sancho, we expected to come with a bit. You're not saying he's been rubbish, but we wanted a bit more flair from him, a bit more step overs, cut back, whip it top corner, because he can do it. So now I feel like United have lacked that type of player. The only thing I'll say as well is that how many Brazilians have had a great career at Man United?
I heard that. I heard that earlier on. It's funny you say that, and I totally agree with you. It's like you got the Silva brothers who did okay for us. Raphael did all right. Fred's not done great. He's done okay. So no one's really I can't really think of other ones as well, to be honest. But Brazilian.
I mean, the best one I think that you had, you'll probably Anderson.
Oh yeah, Anderson. Yeah, he's. Do you know what? Do you know what I love about
that season when he was like a boss in midfield?
Mate, when we won the Champions League against Chelsea and Terry missed his penalty.
Yeah.
And then Anderson, I think Anderson at the time was like 19, 20, 21. And he just bashed it down the middle, like full on confident. He was like that in the crowd, like
he didn't even place it. He has a proper display.
And you know what? I just loved him for that as well. And his attitude, as you said, was really good as well. And Anderson was a good midfielder for us, just a bit, I don't know, erratic at times. Looks a bit chubby at times as well. But no, we've had. I think that's a common theme. What you just said. All our Brazilians have been okay.
Yeah.
Like the Silva brothers, okay. Fred, okay. Anderson, fine.
Kleberson was definitely less than okay. He was useless, that guy.
Him and Jemba. I know Jemba isn't Brazilian, but them two, I think, were signed at the same time. And I was just like, well, at the time you think they're going to be good, but terrible. But Anthony's not got much to. And do you know what I wonder with Anthony as well, like with the Greenwood situation and obviously what's going through there, because I can imagine Anthony wanting the number 11 shirt. Obviously, there's more important things than a shirt number, especially with what Greenwood and his ex has gone through, which is terrible for her, obviously. But I do wonder, like, I can imagine Anthony being like, I want that 11 number. But is it available? I think because there's rumours on Twitter that he might get the 11. I mean, that tells you everything about the Greenwood situation there, which would be kind of cement that, which was kind of should happen anyway, because there's enough evidence there to show that he's done wrong, terribly wrong. So, but I'd like to see, as much as I loved Greenwood before, I'd love to see Anthony in that 11 shirt, man. And I reckon he's going to do well off that right, coming in with his left foot. He's, from what I could see from videos, he's a bit one-dimensional, but he's still very good at that. Like he'll cut in a lot. He'll
Like
cross
Iron
it,
Robin.
cut in, he'll shoot.
I'm not saying he's like Iron Robin before people start getting to me.
Damien Duff
I'm
as well.
saying in the sense of,
well,
you know what Robin's going to do, but like how many times you watch Robin, he's got the ball, and he had it on the right, and you think, he's going to cut and bang it
Same with Henri. How many times was Henri on the left, cutting on the right, and place it in the corner? You know he's going to do it, but it still worked every time, didn't it?
No,
I'm excited.
Like I said, we can't knock it. People need to just, try and ignore the fee to an extent and give him time to and see what will happen, because obviously Pepe come with that fee, and Pepe.
What's the update with Pepe? Is he on loan or is he still there?
He's at Nice now. Yeah, he's at Nice on loan, and judging by the first game already, things not looking too good. The manager wasn't happy.
There's a player there, though, isn't there? Or do you not think there's not a player there?
I think there is a player in there, but I just feel like I see more from him when he's playing internationally than how he's in the club. I saw a goal he scored against France. Sorry.
So who does he represent again?
Banged it under Lloris, Ivory Coast.
Ivory Coast, that's it.
So him and Wilfried Zaha, which was class. Like he's class for Ivory Coast, but club level was not really the best, And Arsenal, speaking of, what you're saying about Brazilians with Man United, Arsenal and I was going to say French players, but recently we've been alright. Obviously, now we've got the King Saliba at the club. You know what I mean? Yeah, looking good. As I knew, and I've been saying from day one.
Him and Gabriel are looking to form a very solid centre back, probably like Varane and Martinez.
And when you've got a partnership, like just play it. And we're going to Arsenal now, and we won 2-1 against Fulham, and I was kind of going out at the time when that game was on, and someone said to me, it's 0-0, Arsenal peppering them. I went, if you're a real Arsenal fan, you know what happens, right? You pepper, and I remember saying, a mistake happens, the opposition score. What happens? 2 minutes later, Gabriel messes it up. And I don't know, it's not just Arsenal, I think in the football in general, how many times do you see it where a team dominates you, you think, no way they're not going to win it. And the next minute, the other team score. But one thing with Arsenal this season is that they've got a lot more this bounce back ability. Like they don't when they let in the goal, it's not like game's done now. I feel that comes from, I know Zinchenko and Jesus have just come, but just having players like that around to listen, guys, don't worry about it. That's why Keane and Vieira were the best at what they did. Same as Steven Gerrard, like where the team losing back against the wall. You just need a player to just go, listen, like we're not losing this, like it's not happening. Then everyone picks it up and does their thing. Like Odegaard had a great game. Like that's, I think since, what was his other good game I remember? I think, was it, I want to say Burnley when he scored a free kick. He probably had a couple of others, but that's the first one in a while when I've been like, finally you're coming.
Like I said to you before about Odegaard, where do you see him potentially being at Arsenal in terms of potential ability? Do you think he could like go up there, and because he's looking good? And I remember seeing a stat which I think he is an attacking centre midfielder. Like he's just behind.
He's more like like a 10. Yeah, his
stats for running. I saw he's in like the top 5. He's like, you don't usually get that with attacking midfielders like that kind of running. Yeah, so I was impressed by that. But where do you see him? Like, where do you think he can go?
So I think you asked me the questions before as well. Is he world class? I don't think he's world class. I think he's got the capabilities and the ability to get to that point. But the only reason why I won't give him world class is because I've seen too many games, like I think like the Palace game, where times where he'll want to pass instead of shoot, or will take too long. And he's one of them 10s. He reminds me of like Mesut Ozil, where you have the ball and you kind of want to caress everything. Like you don't want to lace the ball, And he's got the ability to shoot.
A beautiful game.
Always wants to be beautiful. Like on the ball, like watch De Bruyne, gets it 1-on-1, blasts it bottom corner. With Odegaard, it's more like he'll get it and he's thinking in his head.
Just finesses it in.
Yeah, if I finesse it or caress this pass to that one, and that's where I think lets him down. It's like you look at, I don't want to come off Arsenal too much, but you look at Maddison in the 10, great for Leicester at times. It was good whipping in and all that. They don't do that enough, and they're one of the few 10s left. And that's sort of Odegaard. Yeah, I feel like Odegaard. Yeah, he's playing well, but I'm not getting too excited on him at the moment. The one thing I'll say about Arsenal, even though we won, the concern I have is Saka at the moment. I feel
he's not scored from open play for a while. I heard seeing that stat. Is that true? I know he assisted.
Yeah, I'm
Odegaard,
trying to remember the exact game. If it comes back to me, I'll bring it up. But the thing with
it's
him,
been a little while, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know what? He gets chances, but he's not clinical enough. It happened last season. He had so many chances, he missed them. Like he had one against Fulham the other day, where I think someone set him through and cut back. And just when you curl it, kind of give it a bit of height as well. It keeps it kind of a bit low. Leno blocked it, and I think that's what really what he misses from his game. Another thing someone pointed out is that if you look at Martinelli and you look at Saka, the fullbacks behind them with Ben White, he's learning it slowly, but he doesn't really overlap like a Tierney would to help Martinelli, or a Zinchenko to kind of give Martinelli the room to do what he wants to do. And I feel that's where, when Tomiyasu plays, you might see it a bit more because he's more comfortable right back than Ben White. And
who's playing ahead of Tomiyasu and White? Is it all White at the moment, or is Tomiyasu playing something?
I think it's going to be, whilst we're doing well, it's going to be Ben White. And Ben White really hasn't put a foot wrong. I remember from the first game I saw him, I thought, right back, what are we going to do, man? Like, how are you going to have him there? But he's performed very, very well. And listen, you can't drop someone when they're playing well. You know, the same situation United, you know what I mean? Like, you could have a decent player behind, but you can't drop someone if they've got good form, because that's when you end up losing the form of that player, and then when the other one drops, you end up with a void in that position. So, but things look all right. Arsenal, they're looking good.
Who's Saka's backup? Because I remember you mentioned him to me before. Like, he could get tired, he can get, who's his backup?
That's what I was going to get into. I feel like we're Arsenal with 2 days left in the window, 2.5 days. Yeah, about 2 days. They need a winger. For me personally, if they don't sign a winger or a centre, or don't sign anyone now, I feel like it's a failure of a transfer window. I feel with all the promise you had, you brought in Zinchenko, you brought back Saliba, you brought Jesus, you're just missing just a vital piece. I'm not expecting him to go and spend 100 million and get a centre midfielder and then a winger, but a winger would really take the burden off Saka, because
who do you want?
There's games where you don't play Saka, rest him. Same way City do with Grealish, when he has a random appearance, and suddenly Mahrez is in, then Bernardo Silva's in, and stuff like that. But yeah, we really need to do that. But even now, we need a central midfielder. Partey's injured.
Who would you get in? Who would you get in right winger wise? If you could get both, obviously you might not get any of them or just one of them, but if you could get both of them, realistically, who do you think Arsenal would go for?
If I'm Arsenal, I would try and get Tielemans for a reduced deal. Problem is, Leicester asked him for 35 plus, but Arsenal trying to get it down because they're saying he's got 1 year left.
That makes so much sense to me. Like, just getting Tielemans in, proven in the Premier League.
Does it? Don't get me wrong, he's not
I think he's very good.
World class. But he would come into that midfield, done, like you said, he's done it in the league. And that's what's very important nowadays. It's all about having players that have done it in the league. Because all that bedding in time ain't got, it's nonsense. So he would be great. Another one I don't get why they look at is Sarr from Watford. Why no one has signed him? I really don't
United were linked to him strongly last year or the season before that. So you didn't go Villa. Was it Villa? Did it break through?
I think the talks fell through. I think they had 2 other players they were going to send to Watford on loan or permanent with it, and it fell apart. But
how much do you reckon you could get Sarr and Tielemans for if you went for like this window? Like roughly?
Sarr would
60,
cost
70?
roughly what? 20 to 25 mil. Tielemans, you could push. If you could push Leicester to 25, you could maybe get both of them for less than 50, which would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. But I feel like the route Arsenal are going to take is, I think I was reading today, there's a guy who, I don't know if you remember when we were talking a couple of months ago, I mentioned this guy called Mudryk from Shakhtar. No. From what I've seen, superstar. I watched him against Real Madrid last season, and I remember thinking, who the hell is that on that wing? Like, honestly, when you
what nationality is he?
Ukrainian.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'm telling you, the way you read, I think was it Carvajal that day? Whoever played fullback was getting torn to shreds. And even when he came off, some of the Real Madrid fans were applauding him, thinking, "What the hell?" But yeah, like, I just want to see 2 signings in. I'll be happy with that. And if we're really talking about we want to do well in Europa, we want to do well in the league, you have to sign these players. And sometimes you don't want
Zaha, man.
Zaha would be a dream, but I just feel like he's not in the age of the project that Arsenal are trying to do here. So you look at Zaha's, 30? Is it 30 now?
Is it 30?
29, 30.
I'll have a look.
So, yeah, just double check. I think it's about 30.
I thought it was like late 20s, like 28, 29. But let me have a look. But still similar, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's 29. 29.
Yeah, so 29.
That's fine.
But I feel like, because look, if you look at what Arsenal are doing, right, with San Jesus, who's younger than Zaha, obviously, and now they want Mudryk, who's 23, so they're trying that youthful thing.
But sometimes you need a bit of experience as well.
No, you do. And listen, I would not be against someone like Zaha. I think Zaha is quality, and I feel like as he's aged, he's got a lot better in certain situations. Like one-on-one as a defender, you don't want that guy coming at you. Like he's different gravy. So I don't know. I don't know about you, but I get excited at this point in the transfer window because you can like refresh your Twitter and then suddenly Ornstein puts up talks with Thing and you're like, oh, okay, cool. But yeah, I feel like Arsenal need to. Now listen, El Nenny's injured, so they have to go into the market. So
do you have any strong rumours with any players, or is it all just kind of light rumours?
I think the strongest rumour I read was the Tielemans one, what they're trying to have with the deal. And I think the only
Leicester can't do that, man. Like they're so bad, and they're not buying players, and they're getting rid of all these. But
you couldn't need to imagine if Tielemans turns around now and says, "You know what? I want to go." I've told you that Arsenal have now paid around 30. You have to, because there could be a gentleman agreement where it's like, if Arsenal come with that much, I want to go, let me go. But going into what obviously we haven't really gone to the Arsenal result 2-1. That's fine, but we're going to like Leicester now, and like you're saying.
Bottom of the league.
Mate.
I know we were just bottom of the league as well, but we were talking like at the start about managers that could get sacked or walk away, and we were saying about Brendan Rodgers and I've seen three L's, 1 draw, and 10 goals let in, which is only just less than Bournemouth. Obviously, they got battered 9-0, didn't they? But what? I'm baffled. I'm confused. What is going on there? Why?
Do you know what?
I'm with the really best owners ever. What's going on?
I'm not really baffled by everything there. Little things that bug me is, right, you get rid of Kasper Schmeichel, right? If you're ever going to get rid of a goalkeeper, you have to have a plan straight away. In terms of
that influence as well.
Exactly.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. So if you're going to say, you know what, Kasper, I'm not going to play you. You're not number one now. Keep him around the team. So like to help the youngsters come through, and then you keep Daniel Ward as number 2, and then you can bring in someone else. And I think they were linked with the goalkeeper from Huddersfield, Smithies, yeah. And you look and you think, you're not serious. Like I look at what they do and I'm thinking, Rodgers, what's going through your head? And I thought even without the Fofana money, they'll still be able to sign players, but it doesn't seem.
Have they signed anyone yet, or is it?
No, they haven't. No,
I can't believe. And who they've lost? They've lost.
So
Fofana.
Sorry, Fofana went or going. How much was that? It was 70 mil, about 70, 75 mil.
Yeah, something like 75, 80 million. I thought.
That's 75, 80 mil. Then you've got. I think they want to get rid of Somare, the guy they got from Lille. Don't know what happened with him. He had a great season in France, but he's been poor here. So they're looking to recoup about 100 mil, and that's where I think Arsenal have problems getting Tielemans now, because Leicester now have money to now sign. Unless, as I said, there's an agreement where Leicester said, we promised you can go. Now Arsenal have offered so much, but
I think he's going to stay. I mean, rumours better than me because it's your club, but they could turn around and say, look, we've got rid of these players. We need you. You'll be gone next summer. You can sign a pre-contract in January with Arsenal, but I mean, that transfer makes too much sense. Sometimes the things that make too much sense don't happen, but he'd be perfect for you. I think I'd like Zaha to do well as well, because obviously he was at United, but he obviously came at the end when Ferguson retired, didn't he? Because Zaha was Ferguson's last ever signing. As he signed, he retired because obviously he had issues with his wife's sister or something was sick. And then Zaha came in and did nothing, but didn't really get any chances under Moyes. And I'm always gutted about that, because he's a very good player and he's good enough for clubs like us. He really is.
Great player. I feel like, everyone was saying, how come no one's really signed him yet? But I think you're a United fan, you might be able to tell us more, but I think there's a clause that says that United get 25%. So that's why I'm always thinking, why are the clubs not paying more money?
Pay up, Arsenal. Come on, give us the money.
I think that's one of the major reasons why Arsenal didn't pay that 85 million that was quoted before, because they were like, why should we pay so much? And then Palace are saying, we want you to pay more, so then when we give United their 25, we still have a bit. But I think he's in the last year of his contract as well now. So
it's been a while since he's left us.
So, but
I don't know how long that. So obviously after that contract runs out, obviously that won't apply anymore, because obviously he'll be out of contract. So, but I hope
he gets his move. I hope he gets a move. I feel
I'd like to see him. I don't want Arsenal to do better than United, but I'd like to see him do well at Arsenal because I feel like he's too big for Palace. But then, do you think your boy Patrick Vieira will let him go this late when he's literally, I would say, vital for them staying up? Or I'm not saying that they're definitely
if you're Vieira now, unless it's an obscene amount of money, you wouldn't be silly enough to do that. And that's where I think the only team that I think realistically will get him will be Chelsea, because I feel like Chelsea are the only ones that are chucking mad money at the moment.
And Man United.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I feel like if, Todd Bowley goes, you know what, Bob Hewley goes, I'm going to get Zaha 65, 70 mil. And they'll chuck in. They could chuck. And Chelsea don't think they've got a bargaining chip. They could chuck in Gallagher plus some money.
Very good player. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because Palace want him back. And
Gallagher, for me, I feel like going back to Chelsea with the midfielders they have, I'm looking at Palace is for him. Like, honestly, I watched him last season. You know more than me. And you told me about him ages ago. And I watched him and I thought, this guy in midfield is an absolute monster. Like, the game against
box
Arsenal,
to box, and he just does everything.
Everything.
Scoring, tackling, assisting, passing. He's such a good player. And I would have taken him at United. Not that Chelsea would sell him to us, but I would, before like Casemiro, I'm not saying they're the same kind of player, Casemiro and Eriksen, but if one of our two midfielders was Gallagher, I would have been really, really happy with that. But he must be feeling a bit down, obviously, after getting 2 yellows against.
Did you see the little clip as well when he got the yellow? Cucurella went mad.
Yeah,
you should watch Cucurella's like, what are you doing?
With his hair going all over the gaff.
Yeah, but it's true though. At the end of the day, I can't remember who was running on goal, whatever. But yeah, they did well as well. Chelsea anyway to beat Leicester 2-1
with 10 men.
And again, 10 men. I'm telling you, this Leicester team, there's nothing from them now. If they don't sign anyone this window, as I said, remember I said this before the whole transfer. I said they need to fix up because I could see them struggling hard. You know what I mean? Like, I look at their team now. Like, remember before you play Leicester and you'd see like Maddison, Barnes, Vardy, and you'd have Castagna, Pereira. Like, you'd look at them and be like, they had stalwarts in that team where it's like, man, they're going to cause us problems today. But nowadays they look a bit weak. Like, Vardy's getting old. I think Vardy's what now? 35?
Yeah, 35, yeah.
So obviously he's quick, but not as he was. Maddison's hot and cold. Pereira's injured quite a bit. So yeah, they've got issues, man.
If you're a Leicester fan as well, you must be fuming.
Yeah.
Being like when United weren't making, even though we made a couple of signings earlier on, like when we weren't getting the players that we really needed, I was absolutely like fuming. I was like, why have we got it? They haven't got anyone in. I mean, just think how the Leicester fans feel. Seeing them bottom of the league, yeah, they got a couple of, even if they made 3 signings in the next 2 days, like that's not good enough. Like they should be making like signings earlier on. And do you reckon they could go down? If their team stays as it is,
I think
say they lose Tielemans to you as well.
I think it'll be just too good to go down because I feel like there's worse teams than them. Obviously, we're going to get into them in a bit, but I watch Bournemouth, man. Oh, they are.
Mate, that was jokes.
Dire. Like, Bournemouth are awful. So you've got Bournemouth, you've got, who else is down there at the moment? Was it West Ham? Or West Ham and near
Leicester, Wolves, Everton, bottom 3, then Bournemouth, West Ham, Villa, Forest.
You know what? I think it's Everton's year to go, you know. I feel like they're always cutting it fine. It's just, they're not good enough, that team. Not good enough at all. Mina's never fit for a long amount of time. You look at defense, I think, is it Coleman? Does Coleman still play? Like, he plays right back. A bit older now, so like, cool, he's captain or whatever, but it's not really working.
How is Lampard getting away with it as well? I'm not just blaming totally him because you know, I don't think the squad's the great, but they shouldn't be bottom 3, and they've spent pretty much. I think Lampard did a worse job than when Benitez was there, and Benitez didn't do too well as well. Like, I mean, where's Lampard getting this rep from for being a very good manager? I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't know too much about him as a manager, but he did okay at Derby. And Chelsea didn't do. He brought a couple of players through, you know, brought Mount through as well, but he's just not done well anywhere. And he's getting these. Everton's a huge job.
Massive job,
mate. If you look at the history of what they've won, they're right up there in like the top 6, 7, 8 teams of teams in England, maybe even higher actually.
You remember they had Ancelotti, and I don't know if it's true. I think
that's mad, isn't it?
Ancelotti was there at the beginning of the season. He then went to Real Madrid and won it all. And won the Champions League. Like, as an Everton fan, you're thinking, hold up, wait, we had this guy at the beginning of the season.
I swear they were slating him on Twitter as well. Like,
they were.
He didn't do too well at the start as well, and it's just that probably proves that it's not just Lampard's fault, and maybe I'm being a bit too harsh on him. But do you think like he's got 9 lives? Is he a cat or something? Like why have they stuck with him? They did terrible at the end. I think in the summer they could have gone like, thanks Lampard, you kept us up, but okay, we're going to move on to someone else now. We're going to get. What do you?
But no,
why
but if you look at Lampard, right, Derby, he had some decent young players in there. Now, I can't remember all the names, but he had Mount on loan at the time, if I recall. He had there was another young player, Knight, I think his name was something Knight.
Okay.
He had a guy up top, and you looked at him, all right. And I feel like he does well with the youngsters. So depending on what some of these teams like players that are coming through the system and stuff like that. He did it at Chelsea. He brought through James. He brought through Mount. He brought through Tomori, and I think that's where his Chelsea career kind of started to struggle a bit when he let Tomori go and he brought in. Was it starting Christensen? I think after that, and he thought, man, like what are you doing here? And me personally, I said when he came that he not good. He's not good enough to be a manager at Everton. And I thought the same way about Gerrard. You know what I mean? You see Gerrard doing.
No, he's doing terribly as well. Like with the money they spent,
worse than Gary Neville's at Valencia. Mate.
Yeah, and Dean Smith, the manager before him, he's doing worse than him as well. And
crazy.
I think Lampard and Gerrard, because they're English as well, man. I think they get away with murder. Yeah. I'm not just saying it's like a nationality thing, but I don't know. Maybe it is like you've seen, like for example, Chelsea and have spent crazy amounts of money as well as Man United, and. But it's a different subject I'm talking about. But it's just because I know Lampard's not there anymore. But it's just like some clubs and some managers get away with murder because the affiliation with the press. And I think Lampard, Gerrard, they just I don't know. I just don't think they're that good. And obviously, what Gerrard did at Rangers was brilliant. I know it's always top 2 Celtic Rangers, but to win the league is a feat over Celtic. And But I just think the press just let him get away with it, and don't give him as much stick as Ollie at United.
Oh yeah,
not that he didn't deserve the stick, he did, but like I'm sure there's other managers you could think of that have gotten stick that have done better than Gerrard and Lampard. But I think when I was growing up, I always had the debate for England like who was better, Gerrard, Lampard, or Scholes in midfield, and I think Scholes was the my favourite United player of all time, and I put my head of both of them, even though they were both world class as well. But I just feel like, and then they were always playing in the middle. Like Scholes was shipped out to the left. It was better than both of them. Like, I mean, just
maybe,
example.
Maybe that's why you want them both out.
Maybe. When Scholes retired early, man, from England, it was good because he prolonged his career with Man United. I just think another example of like junior playing careers, they just kind of got away with murder in terms of they didn't do very well for England in the middle, and they stuck with them. Sven stuck with them in the middle and shipped out, and it's just like I don't know. Who do you reckon if you had to say who was going to get sacked first, Gerrard and Lampard? Who do you think? Lampard? Is that quite an easy one, Lampard?
I think Gerrard.
Why is that?
I just think Everton will give. As I said, in terms of the young players, I feel like Lampard might get a bit more time because I feel, if they keep Gordon, which is looking more likely as the days go on, and Calvert-Lewin comes back to get a couple of goals, I think they'll keep him, keep Lampard. I feel like Gerrard's got a lot more pressure as well because the players he's brought in. So look at he brought in Coutinho, Buendia. Yeah. I'm not sure if he was the one that brought Martinez in. No, was it him? No, Martinez was there before. So they've got Digne. Who else is in that midfielder? There's Ramsey, Coutinho, McGinn, and then up front, Ings, Watkins, and you've got the Coutinho, Leon Bailey as well. And you think, look at that team, like because you've got to think,
and they're playing you as well, so they're probably going to lose that.
No, but you put yourself in the chair. You put yourself in a chairman's point of view, right?
Yeah.
If you're the chairman of Everton, the chairman of Villa, you would look and go, "Cool, we are losing a couple of games at Everton." But I don't know if Everton are they one of them clubs where they've always been. They're about their homegrown players. So having an Anthony Gordon means a lot to them, and being able to keep him and win games and that, you're going to see the fans will get behind Lampard because I feel like the fans see what he's trying. It's just not really coming together. And I feel like Everton do make some weird signings sometimes that don't help him as well. And as you look,
They spent a lot this summer. I can't think of anyone they've signed.
No, they've spent a lot. Who did they sign this summer?
I'll have a look.
I know Rondon's around. That weird guy. I don't know what he does.
Yeah.
Rondon, Mikolenko, obviously left back. I think they got him last season.
Yeah. Tarkowski?
Oh, you see that type of signing there. You know what I mean? Dele Alli's gone. Obviously.
Cody on free. I didn't know Neil Mupai went from Brighton.
Yeah.
To...
Oh yeah, Dwight McNeil.
Only for 10 million. That's quite good. Dwight McNeil. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Them type of signings, they're not really game changers. You see what I'm saying? They're like Cody's a good signing, but I thought Cody was a Liverpool fan. I might be wrong. I thought Conor was a
Liverpool. But there's loads of fans of other clubs.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So
they're rivals, isn't it?
Yeah, but no, I think Gerrard's in real trouble. I just want to touch on one team actually that really surprised me before we go into talk about Scott Parker, finish on that and the sacking. Newcastle, you know, and where they're surprising it. Yeah?
Impressed with them?
I am. And you know what? Because I watch them and defensively they look a lot better.
Yeah.
Actually, it's just reminded that one more team, just not Newcastle, there's one more after that. I look at them, they look solid defensively. Nick Pope, I think, was a great signing in goal. Fantastic.
Brilliant.
Solid.
How much did they buy for him? Because it's just undisclosed. It must have been a fair bit of wedge.
Yeah, it must have been a fair bit, but it's still a great signing. I feel amazing. Look at St. Maximan's been amazing this season as well. When I watch him, you talk about wingers in the Premiership. I watch him and I think that's a proper winger. I don't remember the last time I saw a winger rip up Kyle Walker like that. Kyle Walker looked like he did not want it that game.
Yeah.
And he even said in the article afterwards about it was one of the hardest games he's ever had. And I thought, wow, he really, really destroyed him. And you look at Newcastle and you think, we expect him to spend 500 mil. But where they're spending smartly, they signed Bruno Jimenez. They've signed, what's his name? Botman. The Trippier signing was a masterstroke, I think.
Yeah, really good.
Masterstroke. And their midfield looks good. Almiron's picking up a bit. Where I think they might struggle a bit, obviously they've signed Isaac now for 68 million or something like that. Where the Callum Wilson thing, because I think Callum Wilson on his day is one of the best English strikers. He's phenomenal. He showed it at Bournemouth, his movement, everything like that. So that's where I feel they might have a couple of problems. If Isaac gets injured or he's not really...
Is he prone to injuries as well? I'm trying to think. Does he get injured? Not big injuries, but does he get a lot of little injuries?
He's prone to scoring from what I saw of his record, Isaac. Record, honestly, his record's not the best. But, he's been given a number 9 shirt, Newcastle. So, we've got to see. But I just remember the other team I was going to say, and I said one team. Brighton. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That Graham Potter, to get rid of Kukureya, Bissouma, and it's like the players he's brought in their places, just smooth. They brought that.
He's a very good manager, isn't he?
Caicedo midfield, amazing. They don't even miss Bissouma there. And when you watch, I watch Brighton play. Sometimes you watch these teams that you deem to be second, bottom half of the table teams. They'll play a bit of nice football, and the next game rubbish. But Brighton pop the ball, bang, bang, bang. It's. When I'm watching, I'm like, man, you making me want to support you lot. It's so good to see, man.
No, I have nightmares with Potter just because he seems to own Man United the last couple of games, winning 2-1 and battering us last season as well, 4-0 or whatever it was. But yeah, Potter is he's getting some attention, but I still feel like he goes a little bit under the radar as well. I know Arsenal got Arteta and now we've got Ten Hag, but I feel like his next job could be of a team of that ilk, or if say Eddie Howe doesn't do so well, which he obviously is, and he becomes available, I could see a Potter going to a Newcastle, a Tottenham. Obviously, I know they're happy with Conte.
I think those are. Oh yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. Those are the two teams that I think will be Newcastle or Tottenham. I think Newcastle look and think we need someone to spend a lot of money wisely and buy great players and have us playing attractive football. Because Newcastle back in the day they had that type of style of football. Ginola, the Beardsley days, Gillespie, all of that, you know what I mean? So I feel like they would want to replicate that. And I think Graham Potter would bring that to them.
Young manager, British. Could he be the next England manager as well? I think he'd be wasted. doing that for him.
Yeah.
So,
You know
maybe
what?
later
We've
on
been
in
through
his
some
career.
horrible managers. Yeah, I wouldn't want Graham Potter going there.
Yeah.
No way. Just give the job to someone like, I don't know, Arsene Wenger or someone like that. You know what I mean?
Wenger, Mourinho. I know Mourinho's at Roma.
It could work. It could work.
Yeah.
So
But they both understand English football, obviously, like the back of their hand, so they'd be great.
that's
So
it.
yeah,
Exactly.
no, Potter is. I would have been relatively happy had we got him in the summer. Not that there was any other rumours about that, but had we got him instead of Ten Hag, I'd be like, okay, he's a little bit untested at the top, but as you said, no matter who he's got in the team, plays good football. It's flowing.
Yeah.
Like I felt like we were playing like not Barcelona, but we were just playing a team better than us that are just technically better than us. And you think,
Crazy.
Look at the money. Look at the money we've spent.
Yeah.
Look at the money they've spent. And it's just like night and day difference to them. Yeah. So yeah, Potter is, and look what they're fourth now, 10 points, 1-3 drawn 1.
Crazy.
I mean, you'd think that they should finish top 10 quite easily.
Yeah.
And are they pushing 7th, 8th? I don't know if they'll get top 6.
I think they could. I think you're right. They could get Europe. Like just like when I say Europe, a conference, or
What about Wolves? What about Wolves? Remember that one?
No, I'm not giving up on Wolves. No, listen.
Where do you think they'll finish? I know they have brought some good players in.
I still believe Wolves could. Is with Wolves, right? They need something else up top. Like I watched them against Tottenham.
Yeah, definitely.
And I thought, good, neat little play. No, they don't have like Raul Jimenez is not the same. We know that since his injury, and I feel like Hwang comes on, he's not really doing much. They need like a proper striker. Because you look at them, they've got Guedes from Valencia. Traore, when he comes on, makes a difference. And now they've got Matheus Nunes in midfield. And Neves, who I think is, we talk about midfielders at Arsenal possibly. I think Neves is class. Absolutely.
He is class.
Very, very neat player when I watch him. Neto as well, your FPL legend. But I feel like they've got a good team. I feel they've got an outside chance of top 8, man. I think they could get into it, but they just need to be more clinical. You look at the game against Newcastle the other day. Yeah. Chances, and St. Maximin scores last minute. You know what I mean? So it's still early in the season, isn't it? We're already jumping in this thing of that team might not do this and that, but I feel that they'll be all right, man. But we've had our. I was about to mention their manager possibly getting sacked. Which, listen, Bruno Lage, it could happen. But
who? Sorry, who would get sacked?
Bruno Lage.
Oh, okay.
Manager. Possibly if their results don't
he's definitely a potential. There's quite a few potentials there. I mean, they could. You look at the table and you think there's 3-4 names that you wouldn't be surprised if they were next. Yeah. Like you've got, as you said, you've got Lampard, you've got Gerrard, Brendan Rodgers. I mean, it could be any of them.
Because we lost Parker, innit, boy. And a lot of
I was. I felt a bit gutted for him. Obviously, like I know he got absolutely terrorised by Liverpool, but to play 4 games, lose against Liverpool, Arsenal, City, and beat Villa, I just feel like 9-0 is embarrassing, but it happens. It's happened to Southampton a couple of times as well when they've stuck with Hassan Fertel or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And they've done relatively well. And I just feel like they sacked him a bit early, man, and he got them up. And I feel like maybe if it was like 3, 4, 5 games down the line and they're still getting battered, but they beat Villa. Okay, Villa not doing well, but they've just come up. It's still a very good win, and they've got beaten by 3 very good teams, brilliant teams, the best 3 teams in the league probably. Like you give them a few more games. I mean, I know a Bournemouth fan, and she was in shock that they'd sacked him, like in shock. Like, and but they've obviously got a plan. I don't know who they're going to bring. And I heard this cheeky rumor that it might be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, which I don't think is true. That would be hilarious to see.
Maybe Harry Redknapp.
Harry Redknapp, would he come out of retirement for that?
Local man, season ticket
makes
holder.
Sense. Very good manager. He could go out with this job as well. Like even if he stays up or goes down, he could just retire at the end of the season again. Harry Redknapp would be a good call, but just an odd sacking. I feel like there's more to it than just the 9-0 because they've just got. I don't know what it is.
I feel like he kind of wants more play. I feel like he wanted more players, and I feel like because Scott Parker knows the league, an ex-player and all that, and he knows what it takes to. Because I'm sure there's been some teams where he's been in that type of battle, so he knows what it means, So I think he's probably asked them for a couple of players. They probably said, you know what, we can't get you this one, but we might get you that, and and so forth. And I just feel like I am with you. I agree. It was a rock. Give him 3-4 more games. Let him get over the neck, and if they struggle, then then yes, you never
Yeah.
have it right. Because
I don't think Scott Parker will struggle to get another good job as well. I think he'll do.
Because the fact they beat Bournemouth, or not Bournemouth, beat Villa, you would have said, you know what? So they can do it. You're playing Man City, Liverpool, and Arsenal. Man United, Chelsea, whoever could lose all three of them in a row. It happens. But I feel like, something must have happened.
I feel sorry for him. But
I do, but they have been absolutely smoked though. So you got smoked 9-0. The Arsenal one caused 3-0, but it's like there's games where they're not even, like who was it now? I'm trying to think of the team last season. Like, even sometimes Norwich at home, they put in that fight, like give you a bit of a scare. Like you played them, United, when you got the penalty against them.
Yeah.
They still had chances. And you thought, oh, Norwich could do this.
Yeah, they had
now.
quite a few chances. Yeah.
You don't look at Bournemouth at home and think, man, they could put. Like, remember Bournemouth under Howe when they used to have Solanke, Fraser, Wilson, and it's like everyone creating chances. Now you look at it, you're like, what do they really have that's going to cause you issues?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I think to be honest, I've not really followed their kind of transfers and kind of the players they've got too much, but I know that Parker's done a very good job getting them back up, and he started the season relatively okay with one win, and just an odd sacking a bit early, but maybe they're thinking it from their point of view. The owners like, let's just get this done before it gets worse. If it does, like I said, like we just said, there's probably more to it than just that behind the scenes, and they've obviously got a man ready to step in. For them to be like that quick. You're out. Oh, let's search. I'm sure they've got that man like ready to come in, and we'll see who it is. But whoever comes in is going to struggle to stop. It's Bournemouth, for God's sake. I mean, I don't want to be disrespectful, but they're a little team. They've got a little stadium. Like, they're going down, isn't they? I mean, I know there's Everton, Wolves, and Leicester doing terribly. Obviously, Wolves won't go down, obviously, but like, they're going down. Like,
maybe Sean Dyche.
Dyche would be very good. Dyche would be a good option, but Bournemouth have an image in it of playing decent, good football in it. I mean, it makes sense. I mean,
listen,
might as well go for Sam Allardyce, isn't it?
Dyche gets some stick. People say, "Oh, Bournemouth, Burnley played like the Route 1." But if you watch Burnley properly at time, they weren't just playing that type of football. There were games where they'll play neat, one-touch passing, crossing it in, and I think sometimes it looked like it because the ball would go out from right back to McNeil, and then he would whip it in. It would be the normal Ashley Barnes or whoever header in, or Jay Rodriguez. But I feel like
Dyche would make perfect sense, and like I mean, that would make perfect sense. But then, as a manager, like you've got a reputation to hold, and I know he actually didn't get relegated with them again because he left before they got relegated, didn't he? Or did he get relegated and leave?
I think he.
I can't.
Anyway, either way, but
he's got a good reputation anyway. And if you go to Bournemouth, you are risking that reputation because you're almost certain to go down.
Yeah.
And if you do stay up, you're just staying up. Like it's our last game in the season thing. So would Dyche want to do that after ending it not too well with Burnley? Maybe. It's a Premier League job. It's down the coast. Bournemouth's a nice area. It's got a nice little beach. And as you said, I didn't know they played better football than he got, than a lot of people said, like myself. I thought they just played Route 1 football, but obviously not. Yeah, maybe, but if I'm Dyche, I'm thinking, okay, but I could go down again. Do I want to do that?
You say could, they will go down. They're going. There's no ifs, buts, and maybes. They're not beating any. Sometimes you can nick a point against these big teams at home, and this not happening with them. They look awful. Like
watch them beat Man United. Now you said that.
No, but sometimes these smaller teams have players in the team where they're them difference makers. You look and you think
they haven't got any of that, have they?
No. You look at Norwich. Norwich had when Cantwell was playing well and Pukki was there. You kind of thought Pukki will get that goal from nowhere and stuff like that. But they really, they don't. No one special. I think they've got Solanke, Kiefer Moore, who is like
Moore, Anthony, Tavernier, Christie, Sumura, Cook, and Smith in midfield.
You see what I'm saying? So
all very simple. But then I know Brighton have some higher level players, but Brighton have a similar squad where I think a lot of fans would struggle to name half their team. Not that they don't have better players than Bournemouth, they obviously do, but it can work where you have a team of nobodies that do well. But they're obviously another level.
But Brighton are smarter though. Brighton signed players even from the South American leagues, where for us here in Europe, we're like, who the hell is that? But they've done their research and they'll sign. Look at the guy, the one that looks like Messi. I always laugh when I see him. McAllister, absolute baller. You've got Caicedo now. They've signed a left back from Villarreal.
Estupinian. Yeah.
Phenomenal left back. And you're thinking
they've got a very good defense, back five.
It's crazy.
Gilman,
and the
Sanchez.
goalkeeper Sanchez, comfortable on the ball.
You know what? I've given them disrespect there, man. Their team is good. I've given them a bit of disrespect.
Listen, as an Arsenal fan, I'm dreading it. I know that game's coming soon, and I remember.
And Welbeck's stepping up now, isn't he? Like he was obviously at us. He went to you guys. He's doing well.
That guy Welbs, man.
Bambi on ice.
You know what I mean? So yeah, no, they look all right, and I feel like they're gonna have a decent season. I think tonight, because I was gonna do before we wrap up, I was gonna do like a little review on the game. But we'll just go over them quickly. I think tonight is Fulham Brighton. I mean Fulham got Brighton. You've got Leeds. Can't remember who Leeds are playing. Chelsea away.
I put Andreas in my team because obviously in FPL because I had to get Haaland in, so I had to make a slight sacrifice. He's more of a bench player, but he's got a few points already and his form's good. So I'm hoping ex-United legend Andreas will do bits.
James? Have you got James?
Yeah, I've got James.
He's injured, you know.
Okay, well, I've got a good bench.
I'm so happy people saw that reaction on here. So is that?
Was you lying to me?
As in, he's injured. Yeah.
You're not joking.
I say injured. I think he's ill. He had an illness. So
I've got what's his name on the bench, Perisic.
So that's a good one then. Yeah, that's a perfect replacement. That's
Perisic, he'll come on then. Yeah, that's fine. Even though that's gutting because James is very good, and I don't want to. If it's just an illness, that's fine. But he'll be back. But yeah.
So you didn't make any other changes now?
I took out. Well, this is going to come to bite me in the ass, but I took out De Bruyne and one of the strikers, Greenwood from Leeds.
For who?
Haaland and Andreas. I just wanted to get Haaland in, and I had about 4.5 million left. And because I felt like I'm missing out too much by not having Haaland, like I am, and I had about 4.5 million left, and around that kind of region, like Andreas was looking like the best option. I've got I've got a good midfield, like a decent midfield.
Yeah.
But up front, I've got Kane, Haaland, Jesus. So I'm hoping to get some extra points, much needed points, because I am falling behind, bruv.
Oh, I remember last season.
How about you?
I'm going to let these people know you were gassing it last season, talking about.
I started last season brilliantly, didn't I? I was right up there for a long time. This season, I've done the opposite. Maybe I'll start badly and then end well. But
listen, it's still early again. Come on, man. I had on a right start. I think last week I got 74 points, which is decent. I would try and get more than 60 every week. Anyway, I always say that.
Yeah.
But it's not gonna happen most of the weeks. And I feel like I did all right. This week I was gonna take out James, and I thought, no, I'd rather I'd let Andreas come off the bench, but I swapped Walker for Cucurella. I know Walker.
Oh, so you've got Andreas as well?
I've got Andreas on my bench, yeah.
Oh.
So I've got him coming on for he'll come on for James. Cucurella I brought in because I watched him and I saw him was taking corners against Tottenham. He did the same against Leeds as well.
Get some assists in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I thought him, because Man City's defense now, with Champions League coming, I can see rotation. And now they've just signed Akanji from Dortmund, who I think that's a decent signing as well.
Yeah.
I feel they'll rotate a lot more. Like Aki will go in, Cancelo might go right back, and then they've got a new left back from Anderlecht, Sergi Gomez. He'll go in at left back to take the place of who else is there? Cancelo, because he plays at left, and they'll just swap around. So I just made them changes. But I'm hoping for a good week this one. But the trickiest part was captain, for the viewers here, I want Salah.
Oh, after he got no goal. You know what? He'll be angry after that, scoring 9 goals, and he didn't get one contribution, did he?
That hurt. That for all the FPL lovers will put Salah. It hurt me. I remember I saw the scoreline and I sat there thinking, at least 2 goals. I'm looking through this list. There's no goals. I thought, let me check the assists. Scroll down the list. I'm like, there must be a mistake. Then I watched the highlights and I went, he missed 1 open goal. There's 1 chance where it kind of came to him. It's like in front of him. And you thought, go on, just smash it in. Smashed it over. And I thought, you know what? And there was me laughing at one of our friends who had Havertz last year. Captain, won 7-0 under Chelsea. He got nothing. And now I know that.
I know who you're talking about, bro.
You know, and the person who's watching this, they know who we're talking about as well. But no, like, I saw that and I thought, you know what? I'm going to stick with it. Like, I thought, FPL, you just don't overthink it. You know, like when you think...
I do that sometimes. I overthink it.
It's a big mistake. Like, look, last week I put Gross in, Pascal Gross. You got the only goal of the game, and I felt amazing. I felt like a tactician. I'm sitting there like I'm Claudio Ranieri, you know what I mean? Dilly and all that. But
do you think with Pep? Just a quick question. I've put Haaland in, and they've got 2 games in a successive day, you know, in a few days or whatever it is. Do you think that Haaland will, because Pep loves to rotate his squad, do you think Haaland will be that player that he rotates a lot? Or do you reckon he'll play?
I think so. He said in an interview, I think it was sometime last week, he said, in the weeks where we have 3 games a week, Haaland won't play all of them. Alvarez.
That's fair enough. That's 3. But this week, where there's 2, do you think he'll play both?
I think no, he won't. He won't.
As I put him in as well.
No, I personally think he will be. I don't know who the game is after Forest, but I'm thinking they'll start him, take him off around.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Take him off around.
They've got Forest at home.
Yeah.
Villa away.
I think they rest him for Villa.
Oh, come on, man!
Because they've got Sevilla in the Champions League. I can't see them playing him in from the start against them. And I think they'll see how that Villa game goes. If they're 2-3 up, they'll look at it and go, "We don't need to bring them on. Bring on Jack Grealish."
You've got Haaland as well, yeah.
I've got Haaland. So my plan.
How are you? I was going to say, tell the world. How are you going to manage it? I'm taking notes, by the way, bruv. I'm going to copy exactly what you do.
My tactics, but I'm thinking I'm going to keep him in anyway. Listen, the way he scored a hat-trick, you can't remove him. But eventually, if there's weeks where Kane has better fixtures, straight swap for me. No ifs or buts.
I've got them both, so hopefully I can.
That's a good.
But I've obviously made sacrifices in midfield. So
yeah, but you have to. No, but you do that. You'll get better. But listen, I'm just trying to catch the king, who will also watch this. Not going to mention his name, but I'm going to wait till the end of the season.
But the one that wins it every year, pretty much.
He's so stressed.
He's on another level, bro.
It's different gravy. And for you guys that are watching it, I'll bring him on one day in one of these shows. But he every year FPL,
the OG.
He never stresses, never panics. Like he could have a month of horrible points. Everyone's laughing at him. He goes, "No, it's fine. Things will get better." He'll make one change. Like, let me just, before I wrap this up, he last season he brought in Matt Loughton in a double game week. And I sat there because I remember I brought in like Tarkowski. I thought, Tarkowski, me, whatever. He brings in Loughton, who hadn't scored, I think it was 4 years or so. Loughton scores a volley against Palace away, bottom bins, yeah? Guy keeps a clean sheet. So that was about, 14 points, whatever. The next game, I can't remember if he got an assist or they got a clean sheet again. And I thought, who even thinks of that?
Isn't that luck though? I know he's known for doing his doing his deep research. I know that, but Loughton is so random, though, isn't it? But I guess
not him.
That's what separates him from the rest, isn't it?
I've learned from him because now when it comes to when it comes to game weeks, I really studied. I look at 5 weeks ahead, break down all the fixtures. I put down the players. That's it. Actually, that's enough tips, man. No more for you or the public. No.
But you can message me after, innit? Tell me
one-on-one. As the season goes on, we do this podcast. We're going to start doing just strictly FPL ones because I know there's a lot of people that are really involved in. And listen, we've seen it develop like mad. Like when I first started doing FPL, it was just like a banter thing. I just whatever.
It's too stressful, man. Though.
But now
I love it, but it's stressful.
I'm watching my team play against a team. I'm going, yeah, I don't mind if we lose because if he scores 2.
Well, Man United can win 5-4. The other guy can get 4 goals. As long as we win, but he gets 4 goals, I'm happy.
Oh, yeah, you know what I mean? And that's how it becomes. But nah. But listen, Nick, once again, thanks for coming on. Listen, we're saying, we're not even going to do the guess and the scores because this week we've got midweek fixtures. I just want to say, what do you think your FPL points are going to be this week minimum? This is what I'm going to
That's a good question. So, look, this week is in midweek games, not just the weekend.
Just the midweek games. We'll do the weekend ones.
With my team, I'm going to go with 74.
Damn. Oh, man, you're trying to be like me again, yeah?
I need it. If anything, I want to get more than that. I remember the first game of the season last year was the second one. I got over 100 points. Like I had a great start.
You did
I had like
very
70,
well.
80 points as well. I think the first 3 games I've got no more than like 70 points and a couple of 40s and 150 as well, or something like that anyway. But yeah, I reckon 70, 74. What about you? Say 75. Go on.
90.
Okay.
I want 90. But you know what's so horrible?
What's going to be the key to you getting 90? Because you've obviously studied it.
The Salah captain.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's a smart thing because people are going to think, oh, he didn't score. Let's sub him out or, transfer him out. And then he's going to be raging. I don't have Salah. I did have him at the start, but I took him out a couple of games ago. But he's going to be raging because he's a striker. He's going to be thinking, I'm going to get at least 2-3 goals or 2-3 assists.
And that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping I can come back. So we'll try to put, we'll come back with another one maybe Thursday, Friday, little update before the games. And hopefully I can be bragging with 90 or so points. I need that. Need it.
I'd love, mate, if I can get 90 as well, I'll be buzzing.
I know you will. You'll be coming on here gassed up, innit?
Yeah, mate, I'm looking at the tables of like the 5 leagues I'm in. I'm like near the bottom of all of them. So yeah, I need something to change quick, and hopefully, you know what, getting Haaland in and he gets subbed again. I'm going to be.
The worst part for you, imagine you look at the lineup. He doesn't even start. You'll be.
And that's the thing. Pep does that. That's why I said to you last season. I don't like picking City players.
Last season, you didn't have any City at all.
Yeah, and it's like I did well. I was like, I think I was top third of the league of most leagues. I did okay.
Yeah.
But this season I've like scrapped it. I've got Diaz, who I'm going to transfer out soon. Cancelo and now Haaland, and I had De Bruyne before. So
big risk.
But once Pep burns me a couple of times, I turn around and say, you know what, all of them out. Unless you've got Edison, really, Cancelo.
But even still, with Edison, they concede. Look at last week, own goal and then another one. They do that a lot, and that's why City players, it's tough to own them. And I try, if it's not Cancelo, I own no one else from that defense. No one. There's no point.
Yeah, Diaz is going to go, but I needed to get Haaland in. I like to make transfers every 2 weeks. So I've got 2 to play with. I don't like to do it when it's one. A lot, obviously, unless I have to, and there's an injury or something like that. But I'm going to wait another 2 weeks, hoping I don't get an injury. And then Diaz and someone else will come out. I'll see, and then get someone else, a couple of players. And if I get a slightly cheaper defender than Diaz, it frees up some money. So I want to bump up my midfield because it's been depleted, like in terms of quality, because I've had to get Haaland, Kane, and Jesus. And I've got James.
Right. Well, your midfield must be what?
Diaz.
Must be Richardson, Greenwood, Somerville. You must have.
I'll tell you.
You must have some.
Before we go, I'll just tell you it might show up because it's the start of the league, isn't it? I've got Neto, Martinelli, and Andreas, and on the bench I've got Aribo and Lingard. So all very similar. Obviously, Martinelli is doing a lot better, but a similar, decent to good midfielders.
Yeah.
No superstars.
Yeah, no, listen, you'll be all right. I'm going to give you all the positive energy.
You too, mate.
I've got you, man. Yeah,
Speak it to the universe. Speak it to the universe.
Listen, we'll come back later in the week. We'll brag about our points and we'll go for it. But listen, Nick, big
cheers,
up.
Mate.
Thanks for coming on again.
Thank you very much.
And see you later, people. Cheers for tuning in.